All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to all the Akim that pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. And this lesson I want to go into is Practice Makes Perfect. We're just watching a video with the elder brother Tazawam. And he was, going into a large scale of information. And the brother had, brought this scripture out specifically in Sirach, and I really want to expound on it, because this is a heavy scripture when it goes into the truth and us practicing in this truth, and we have to constantly practice and stay attentive unto the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, constantly knocking at his doors, praying for new understanding, praying for better guidance, praying that the Lord direct our paths unto more understanding, wisdom, knowledge, strength, and things of that nature, because all these different things gradually increase us individually and us collectively. So that's the power of us practicing and constantly staying constantly revolving our spirits around the source of this spirit, man. And as we constantly and progressively get better in this truth, that's how we get stronger. That's how our faith builds. That's how we build the faith for one of another. And that's how the elect is ultimately going to receive salvation through the voice and through the leaders, starting off with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and the brothers, the captains and high-ranking brothers and all brothers, of course, that's actually walking and proceeding in this light, because this is the light, and in order for our people to be led to the light, somebody has to have that beacon of light. Somebody has to actually have that light to shine to direct our people to the direction of the light, because our people are walking on in extreme darkness, man. All right, they don't know what to do in a society. They don't understand customs of righteousness. They don't understand etiquette. They don't understand moral conduct. They don't understand any of these things. So they need a leader. They need teachers. They need individuals that's actually going to raise them up from this low, destitute, derelict-like estate. And of course it's the 1/3, all right, because you have the 1/3, the 144,000 that's still out there in the darkness, man. And that's why we have to go into this dark world, so to speak, on the highways and byways, and shine our light, putting our candle on top of to shine before men, so to speak, as it is written. So I want to start with this scripture in Sirach 27:9. All right, it says the birds will resort unto their light, so will truth return unto them that practice in her. Right, and a bird naturally resorts unto its own kind. Sheep, wolves, lions, they always go back unto their own. All right, they know the nature of their habitat. They know the nature of their species. They know where their spirit actually naturally has a connection to. So it's the same thing with us in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because we fail. We fail hard. All right, we lost the knowledge. We lost our heritage. We lost the inheritance that the Most High gave us of being Israelites, the law, statutes, and commandments. But this is the time where Israel is awakening, man. All right, on a large scale. All right, and just like the elder brother said, he was saying, you got Israelites waking up everywhere. All right, not even necessarily GMS, of course, but it's a lot of Israelites that's actually hearing this truth, and they're condemning the system, condemning the so-called white man. All right, pushing out the voice. All right, even though we of course know the Great Millstone has the 100% truth. Guess what? The truth is being pushed out there, man, on these corners, corner by corner, city by city, state by state. The truth is being pushed out on a large scale. All right, and I mainly want to focus on this word practice, because we have to constantly practice in this. We have to constantly be guided and directed by these words and build, because that's the only way we're gonna become perfect. By what? Practicing, as it is written. Practice makes perfect. And matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna start with this, but I'm gonna go into that in a little bit. I don't want to jump around, so to speak. I'll just start with the the order of things. But this is Psalms 37 and 37. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read a couple of these, because a lot of these go into perfection, and that's what it's about, man. We got to fight to be perfect, as our forefathers Job, our forefather Noah, our forefather Yahushua, and all these righteous men, they were known as perfect in the eyes of the Most High. All right, starting with, of course, Noah, Genesis 6 and 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with the Most High. All right, Genesis 17 and 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the almighty power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. Right, and if the Lord told our forefather Noah that shouldn't the generations that's preceding after him should walk in the same light. Now we know we're not going to be perfect. We know we're going to fall. All right, but it's all about striving to practice to be perfect, rehearsing. All right, the characteristics of perfection. All right, being without spot and blemish. All right, having those perfectly white garments. So when Yahweh Shai actually comes in return, he'll see that you're unscathed by these demons. You're actually walking in this light. You're directing men onto into the Lord's house. You're waking up the sheep, so to speak. You're feeding the sheep with living waters, drawing them to the living waters and feeding them with food convenient for them. All right, and you're expelling the wicked. All right, you're casting out wolves out of the congregation, so to speak. And you're making sure that the Lord's foundation is perfect, and your temple and us as collectively, our temples is perfect for the Lord's Spirit to dwell in, man. And that's what it's all about. Because when the Lord comes, he wants to see you on a certain level, man. As it is written, shall not I find faith on the earth? So the Lord wants to come and see your faith on a level flourishing, your spirit flourishing, even though you're getting beat down and you're in this captivity. All right, because we could fight to be perfect, man. Even though, of course, we can't follow the law, statutes, and commandments in its whole or its entirety. You know, we're subject to vanity and things of that nature, but it's still the discipline, and it's still the strivings. It's still the act of pushing and desiring to be perfect. All right, as our forefather Abram, as our forefather Noah. All right, because if we push halfway, the Lord's going to do the rest of the work, man. The Spirit is going to walk with us. All right, the Lord is going to direct us and move us to the path of perfection. All right, Deuteronomy 18 and 13. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy power. All right, and these are commandments. There's all kind of scriptures that go into being perfect, you know. First Chronicles 12 and 38. All these men of war that could keep rank came with a perfect heart to Hebron to make David king over all Israel, and all the rest also of Israel were of one heart to make David king. And we got to be in that same spirit, man, because the Most High is establishing the house of David, and the men under David have to be a what? One heart, one consent, one frame, and we have to be perfect. All right, we have to strive for that perfect mind in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Continue on. Job 1 and 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared the Lord and eschewed evil. Right, and how are all these righteous men? How are they actually on a level to actually be known as perfect in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? Because they walked on faith, they did what the Lord commanded, they were walking uprightly or righteously, they feared the Lord, so they didn't tempt his ways, they didn't get directed by the path of the devil, they didn't choose none of the left-hand side ways, and they eschewed, meaning they detested, all right, and they had a hatred for what was evil. They wanted to do that which is right. So we got to have that same mind frame. All right, and these are men that actually grew up in the law. All right, they grew up in the law. They understood good from evil. They had a level of discernment, and their senses were exercised. Now we fail, and we are born in flesh, of course, born in this vile system, born in these vile bodies, subject to vanity, like I said earlier. But see, we're coming into this knowledge, and as we grow from babes unto fully grown men, the Lord is constantly increasing our discernment, increasing our senses, increasing our judgment, all right, increasing us on a whole, our understanding of the law, our understanding to walk upright in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And that's what makes you perfect. It doesn't matter what you did before, because it speaks about how a righteous man falleth 7 times. It don't matter if you fell all right, yesterday, if you fell short of the glory the day before, last week, last year, you still got the opportunity to be perfect in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua if you continue to strive and actually strive for the mastery as it is written. And matter of fact, I'm gonna go to this and I'm gonna come back, because when you go into the word, of course, the definition of practice makes perfect. I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna bring out, this one point, but it says frequently doing something. Oh, I started at the beginning. Practice makes perfect. Frequently doing something makes one better at doing it. As in, I've knit at least 100 sweaters, but in my case, practice hasn't made perfect. This proverbial expression was once put as use makes mastery, but by 1560, the present form had become established. Right, and that's what it's about. Like I said earlier, we got to strive for the mastery. We got to strive to be masters of the law, masters of the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. No more novices. All right, no more amateurs. All right, and children tossed to and fro through these different doctrines and the sleight of men, but actually mastering the flesh, mastering the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua through what? Constantly practicing inner. Going back to Sirach 27 and 9. All right. And that's how the truth will turn back unto you, and the spirit of the Lord will deal with you and constantly dwell in your inward, so to speak, dwell in your spirit. All right, have a proper rest haven within you, because you're doing what? You're constantly renewing yourself. You're constantly purging. You're constantly having these living waters living and thriving through your vessel. All right, and going to the scripture, Psalms 37 and 37. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. And I want to go to the definition of perfect. Perfect goes back to the Hebrew word thumb, which is complete. All right, perfect, upright, one who lacks nothing in physical strength, beauty, etc. And that's really talking about spiritually, man. Spiritual strength, beauty, etc. All right, because we're dealing with the spiritual aesthetics of things, man. All right, that's why we do this. Like I said, as it is written, that bodily exercise profiteth little. But this is the spiritual exercise. We cutting these demons out. We constantly lifting it and building in the spirit, growing and grooming one another, and the understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Sound, wholesome, complete, morally innocent, having integrity, one who is morally and ethically pure. So we want to be ethically pure. All right, morally perfect. All right, one who lacks spiritual strength or strength and beauty, sound, wholesome, complete, as our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah. All right, so on and so forth. Yahweh Shai. And that's why we push this truth so heavily, and we're so passionate about this, because we want to get out of here, man, and we want to actually be perfect in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And the only way that we could become perfect in His eyes is going through what He told us, going through His guidance books, all right, which is the law, all right, the prophets, the gospels, all right, and walking in it in fullness, all right. And I'm gonna end it with this scripture in Judges 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers and the place of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of His village in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. Right, and we have to rehearse. We have to constantly rehearse and practice in these law, statutes, and commandments. And that's how we're seen and deemed as righteous in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because the Lord is trying us right now. All right, He's seeing who is going to be the perfect individuals, that's going to be the candidates, the righteous candidates for the kingdom of heaven. All right, the word candidate goes into Candace, which means white, who are going to be the ones that actually are qualified, all right, to represent the Lord's kingdom. And it's the ones right now who's constantly striving, rehearsing, and practicing in the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So I want to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua by Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom.